What's going on, guys? Boss6 here, back to your video, and today, boy, it is a glorious day. And no, not because of this glorious hair. Today, I'm here to bring you one of my most, if not my most anticipated album of 2025. And that, of course, is the newest offering from the band whose shirt I am wearing today, Testament, with their new album, Bellum. This album came out on the 10th of October of 2025 on Nuclear Blast Records. This is their 13th studio album overall. Span forward to California in 1983, and these guys are essentially just thrash metal legends at this point. You know, 13 albums of consistent thrash. I went over them in a retrospective that I did actually 2 parts of on my channel a few years back. Now, looking back on that channel, or looking back on that retrospective, it's not as refined as I want it to be, but I don't really feel like going back and redoing it. But I was a little anticipated to see how this new album is going to be because, well, we basically had the same lineup as we had from their last album, Titans of Creation, that came out in 2020, which feels like an eternity ago, but it was only 5 years ago. We have a lineup change. On drums, we do not have the Atomic Clock, Mr. Gene Hoglan. He left, and for a brief period, we actually got arguably the greatest metal drummer of all time and one, Dave Lombardo, formerly of Slayer, and he would actually join the band in a live capacity, and I thought to myself, holy crap, we're finally going to get Dave Lombardo on a Testament album? That hasn't happened since 1999 on The Gathering. Well, unfortunately, Dave left, and we got a new drummer by the name of Chris Dovas, or Dovis. I don't know how you say his name, but this guy's the youngest guy of the entire group. He's almost turning 30. He's in his late 20s. But I was kind of curious to see how this new guy was going to be, and I heard he was actually pretty solid live. But he gets to be on this debut album, and holy shit, this guy is a speed freak. Like, he doesn't have, like, the technicality of Gene Hoglan, but he's got the speed and velocity of, I would say, of a Dave Lombardo. Like, this guy is just flying off the handlebars almost from the word go, especially with the opening track, For the Love of Pain. Immediate, like, nice drum intro. You get some Slayer-like dive bombs, and immediate energy that immediately reminds me of Brotherhood of the Snake. I absolutely love that. That's one of my favorite Testament albums, too. The energy is up here. The guitars have a really nice crunch to them. Chuck Billy just sounds absolutely monstrous. And I will have to say this too. This is actually the first album not produced by Andy Sneap since 1999. Wait, did he do The Gathering in 1999? Actually, let me check really quickly, because I don't think he did. I believe that was actually done by Eric Peterson and Chuck Billy and Phil Arnold. What was I getting to? So Andy Steve has been actually with the band since 2001 for the first Strike, Still Deadly, which was more just a re-recording of some old songs from their earlier stuff. So yeah, this is the first album not produced by Andy Sneap. This is actually produced by one Jens Bogren, who you guys may know. He's done some production jobs for a fucking litany of bands. I mean, just take your pick on what band you name, and I'm pretty sure Jens Bogren's done that ever since he's been with Nuclear Blast. So when I heard that Jens was actually going to be doing this album production, I was actually a little interested, because I'm like, well, they like their Risk Fury Chunky, and again on For the Love of Pain. Immediate Brotherhood of the Snake vibes. There's blast beats on this album. Like, Testament kind of flirted with blast beats when they had Gene Hoglan in the band, but didn't have a full album that had blast beats. It was like kind of sprinkled in. But on this album in particular, it's all over the entire album, essentially. Those breakdowns, I think, are really nice. It's very nasty sounding, and it's a great way to kick off the album. Well, we get to what might be my favorite track on this entire album, and that is, in fact, the Side AI, which was the first single that they released. And when I first heard it, I was immediately hooked. And when I hear a new album that is going to be released by a band that I particularly love, I don't want to spoil myself, but I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of curious how this is going to be with this new lineup. And holy shit, this is one of the most aggressive and one of the heaviest things they have ever done. Has a nice melodic intro, which is more characterized at this point, but there's blast beats, there's some death metal tremolos, Chuck Billy just sounding monstrous as he typically does. His roars get really nice, but his growls are even better, I would say. It's very catchy. There's almost some blackened elements, and that's kind of something that they haven't fully acquired since The Gathering, because The Gathering kind of had some black metal elements on that album, but this here, I feel like they kind of exemplified that more, like on the song High Noon, and I would say the title track in particular. Like, there's some nice kind of like black metal-ish kind of like vocals, and I would say some riffs on that album. On this album, Witch Hunt's another example too, which I find very, very, very interesting. Then we get to the third track, Shadow People, which was actually the second single on the album, and it's more groove-laden. There's some very sinister melodies on this album. It's got a very catchy midsection that I really do like. It's a more mid-tempo song, but it's really, really, really effective. But then we get into the fourth track, Meant to Be. This is the most different sounding song on this entire album. As in, it's acoustic, it's very melodic, there's some strings to this one, it's got a nice dirge to it. This is their Fade to Black. Like, it's 7.5 minutes long, and it's essentially a ballad. And Testament's ballads, they've only had a couple in their career, like The Legacy and Cold Embrace and Return to Serenity and Trail of Tears too, I believe. So they kind of had some ballads, but they just never really click with me. This one I think clicks. Like, this, again, feels like their version of Fade to Black, but it's done really, really, really well. I really love the lyrical content in this one too, because it almost got me to tear up a little bit, because I've said it before on this channel, it's been kind of a rough year for me, but I won't get into it. But yeah, this is a very, very beautiful song. It really shows off Chuck Billy's cleans that he doesn't really get to do a whole lot, but I think his cleans really, really, really work on this song in particular. But then the next track, High Noon, says fuck your feelings, and immediately goes back to the thrash. It's chuggy. There's like some blackened vocals that I really dig. This is a fucking a pitch stomper, essentially. Like, it's catchy too. Like, it's one of my favorite tracks on this entire album. Then we get into Witch Hunt. This is basically where Chris DeVos basically shines. Like, this is drumwork central. There's death growls. There's a nice melodic bridge. Like, the opening in particular, like, it really gives off some vibes of Gene Hoglan. Like, if you were to tell me that Gene Hoglan was on this album, I would have believed you, but it's not, which makes it even more shocking. But yeah, this song is, again, it's a big standout for me personally. I really dig the shit out of this song. Then we get into Nature of the Beast, and this one I believe they played on the radio while I was on lunch yesterday, on Liquid Metal. And this one is a very different sounding song too, because this is essentially like a Motorhead / Judas Priest song, and it's very catchy too. Like, the opening riffs really remind me of the last Priest album, which I really, really, really dig. Again, there's like a big Motorhead vibe on this song in particular. It's catchy, it's anthemic, it's awesome. It's a great, great, great song. And that kind of goes for like the next two songs, Room 117 and Havana Syndrome. Room 17, or 117 I should say, is catchy. The bass pops up a lot, and the bass is pretty prominent throughout this whole album because it's Steve DiGiorgio. I mean, if you don't put his bass in the mix, then you're doing something wrong. But the bass is popping all throughout this whole album, which I think is very, very, very nice. It's more of a mid-tempo track that I really dug. And same for Havana Syndrome. Like, it's more catchy. It's a bit of a mid-tempo song. It kind of reminds me of the song Born on a Rut off of Brotherhood of the Snake, which I thought was very nice. But then we get to the title track, which is the final song. It goes back to the blast beats. It goes back to the blast. There's some more black metal on this one, especially with the riffs. There's more death metal-like energy to it. And it really shows off Chuck Billy's range, which is always a great thing if you ask me. Yeah, that's all I could really say. And it has like a very nice some like nice melodies at the end of the song too, where basically the guitar cries at the end, which is awesome. But yeah, that is the album, folks. Oh God, I'm trying to even. I don't even think I can really find a negative. Like, this album is so balanced, damn near perfectly. Like, it's 10 tracks. It's only 50 minutes long, so maybe you can probably nitpick on maybe a song or two could have been cut by maybe 2 minutes. Who knows? But that's basically nitpicking at this point. Yeah, I got really nothing to complain about, guys. This album is, I would say, the best probably since Formation of Damnation. I would probably even say it's better than Formation of Damnation in my opinion. This one might be my second favorite album. Like, it might be a little bit I might be in the minority of this one, but that's how fucking good this album is. Like, this is one of the best albums they've ever done. Like, this is like top 3 or maybe top 5 depending on who you ask. Yeah, I got nothing. This is probably the best album I've heard this year, and that's not really saying a whole hell of a lot, because I'll be honest, this year has been good. It's been a good year for albums, but I think last year's was a lot better. But this is my album of the year. Like, I love this album. Like, I love the New Benediction, and I got some albums I got to listen to right up here on my counter. But yeah, I don't think anything's topping this, in my opinion. I'm going to give this 4 3/4. Like, I nearly want to give this 5. That's how so close it is. You know what? Fuck it. I'll give it 5. Why not? I'm feeling generous today. Yeah, my first 5-star of the year. I adore this album. The different elements that this album has going for it is absolutely fantastic. It basically has that perfect blend of what they were doing with, The Gathering, and a little bit of demonic thrown in there too, but with the more aggression and the more, pristine production, especially in their later albums. Like, this album is a fucking masterpiece, if you ask me. And Testament knocked it out of the park yet again. Do you really expect anything else less from this band? So, yeah, 5 stars. I didn't really feel like giving it 5, but you know what? I'm feeling generous, so it is 5 stars for me. Take that, Dave Meltzer. But anyways, folks, that is my review of Testament Parabellum. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought about this album, and how would you rank this on the Testament ranking? Let me know in the comment section below. Make sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment, tap the big red subscribe button, and tap the bell so when I upload, you guys will be notified. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Most importantly, join the herd. Talk to you guys next video. Peace out.